Welcome to another netHOST device podcast. This podcast will show you in the next minutes how to deal with Acyclic Services with a netHOST. As usual, we have some preconditions that have to be met to follow this tutorial. First, we need a configured and running netHOST device. For my demonstration, I'm using a Profibus DP slave as well. To communicate from my PC to the netHOST, I need, of course, an Ethernet connection. What is most important is the API documentation of the netHOST device I'm using. You can take it directly from the product DVD that comes along with the device. For testing, we use again the netHOST device test program. On my desktop, I have prepared all the links to the programs and manuals that we need during the tutorial. Look, this is a link to the Profibus DP Master Application Programming Interface Manual. I have opened this document already. Look here. This manual describes you all the details of how to deal with a netHOST device if you are a developer, especially the application programming section. There are several tasks included in a netHOST device. You see them all here listed, and each of them has a special purpose. You have the DL task, which gives you immediate access to the physical layer of Profibus, which provides you services like SDA, SDN, and SRD. You have this task, which is responsible for the DP Master Class 2 services. You find all here these Class 2 services, look. And you have finally a task that is responsible for the Master Class 1 services. For demonstration of how to deal with Acyclic Services, I'm gonna pick up a very simple service that is called getSlaveDiagnostics. I am following the chapter where this service is described. In the beginning, it is described what the service does and what the parameters are that needs to be requested. Also introduced is the C header file definition here. And finally, you find below how the packet, the request packet, needs to be set up to send this command to a Profibus master device. I've started the netHOST test application now. First thing I have to do is to open the connection to my netHOST device. Remember, channel 1 is the Profibus channel, and this is the channel I want to communicate with. Once opened, the first thing that I have to do is to set the bus state to on state, so that my Profibus slave is communicating to the netHOST device. Perfect. It is running. Now let me check first the I/O data. I have a slave of 2 bytes inputs and outputs. So let me first check the inputs and turn the rotary switch. Yes, here you go. And then the outputs. Yes, all outputs are now on. Now we can focus on the packet monitor. The screen is divided, right side for the request packets, left side for the confirmation packet. If I follow now the description, I see how to set up a getSlaveDiagnostic request command. You will find the parameters in the manual, also in the netHOST message monitor. For a simple demonstration, the destination and the command value are of importance. So let me enter the correct command. And the request packet has also data. It says the remote address, which I enter here in Intel format, by the way, and another parameter called flags. Flags are described above. Here you are. And if you read it carefully, you can set flags all to 0. And after setting up the request packet correctly, I can send this packet to the netHOST device using this button. Here you go. In the API documentation, you will find after each request also the corresponding confirmation packet description. Once again, the C header file definition, and down below also the packet description. Let us see if meanwhile the confirmation packet is pending. Yes, here you go. There arrived the confirmation of the previous request, and let us see there is a structure that is returned in the data field of the packet. Here you go. That returns us back the slave diagnostic data described above in this structure. Perfect. So this tiny little demonstration just can be seen as an example of how to deal with packets. There are a lot of other commands described in this manual. The principle of request a packet or service and getting a confirmation is for all of them the same. Thank you for listening.